Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae Alradi. I am coming on with major breaking news out of the White House and out of the Small Business Administration. So this is your latest stimulus update. This is September the 10th. And this information is really going to impact all you entrepreneurs and small business owners out there. So I'll be talking about President Biden's announcement yesterday of his 6-point plan to get us on the pathway to recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Likewise, they in that plan includes expansion of relief programs for small business. It also includes vaccine mandates. And also in alignment with this news, the SBA actually officially announced in a news release that they are expanding the EIDL program, the loan program cap to $2 million. So this is something that we have been anticipating. Well, it is here. So again, I have a lot to get into. Just wanted to make sure you all had a chance to come on here. If you're new here, just let us know who you are, where you're from, and what your business is. Do give this a thumbs up, hit that like button wherever you are, tag a person, share this video, and share our channel out with whoever you think needs this information, because we know with the COVID-19 pandemic, small business owners continue to be impacted. So this is really relevant and important news for you. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already, and connect with us wherever we are on social media. We definitely appreciate your continued support, and we are happy to continue to support all the business owners in your success out there. Now, just for those that may not be aware, may not be up to date on what is happening with the COVID-19 pandemic, this is just a reminder that we're more than a year and 8 months into this pandemic. We were on the path to recovery, and then the Delta variant took hold. And it is making a major impact, and it's killing a lot of people, right? And it's have a lot of people in the hospital, a lot of people in the ICU. Hospitals are struggling to keep up. With small business on the path to recovery, now it's slowed down. Now we have business owners worried that there's going to be another shutdown, and until we can get this pandemic under control, it will continue to impact small businesses and hinder their ability to really move their businesses forward, or our businesses, because I'm a small business owner myself. So let me just give you some stats really quickly. Right now, like in the US, more than 1,000 people are dying every day from COVID-19. And we know most of the people that are really impacted by COVID-19 right now are those that are unvaccinated. So no matter where you fall on the spectrum of get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated, this Delta variant is much worse than when we were here at this time in 2020. Okay. In 2020, it was impacting older people. Now we see that more and more young people are getting sick and dying. We have whole families that are dying from this pandemic. So the Biden administration felt that it was necessary for them to take immediate and necessary action. They allowed time for people to voluntarily get vaccinated. We know at this point there's about 54% of Americans that are now vaccinated, but that still leaves a huge percentage of the population that is not vaccinated, and is causing a lot of problems. We have children that just went back to school, just going back to school. They're forced to be in the classrooms. You have governors that can't get on the same page and battling with the schools on whether to wear masks, whether to vaccinate, whether to test. And so you have teachers getting sick and dying. You have schools shutting down and just causing chaos for parents. They have to now figure out what are they going to do for work. and having to bring their kids back and forth and back and forth and back and forth is a complete mess. Okay. And so some people say he should have taken this action sooner, but here we are. Okay. With the 6-point plan for recovery, which includes vaccine mandates. So I want to make sure that you understand as a small business owner where you fall in this equation and how it's going to impact you as a business owner and your families as well. So you can see I have on the screen, this is out of the White House. So I'm going to go there first and then I'll go into the SBA, but I'm just going to scroll down. Don't worry if you cannot see the entire screen. I'm going to be reading this for you. So of the 6-point plan, I'm going to start with the vaccinating the unvaccinated. So that is a huge thing that they want to get done relatively quickly. So some things that you need to know with regards to this is that with the mandates, if you are a small business or a business that has over 100 employees, that is W-2 employees, you are going to be required to mandate vaccinations or daily testing because they want to keep people safe. Okay. So they are instituting this, and failure to comply will result in penalties. So I noted that one of the penalties, and this is per instance, of $14,000 if you do not follow the mandate. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. So you'll see here requiring all employers with 100 employees or less to ensure their workers are vaccinated and tested weekly. They will be requiring vaccinations for all federal workers for millions of contractors that do business with the federal government. This is important. So a few months back, I announced that Biden's administration had announced that there's a big plan to make it where 50% of small businesses are getting access to federal contracting dollars. That is huge. That is a lot of money, a lot of opportunity for small business. Well, what he said last night is if you want to do business with the federal government, okay, if you want to do business, you must have your people vaccinated. That includes for any contractors, subcontractors that work for you. So that is an attempt to incentivize those that want to do business to get vaccinated, to keep those that they're the government workers, their workers, and anyone that they work with vaccinated. And so we've already seen this across the board. I didn't even know here. I'm on a lot of different email lists, and they're regularly sending out notices to contractors. So some are already doing this before he made this. Put this mandate into place, just letting you know if you come into a building, if you're doing work with us, you need to be tested or you need to be vaccinated. So this is, again, coming down the pipeline. If you are a federal contractor, please let me know in the comments of what you think about this requirement for the vaccinations and the testing, right? So even if you're a person that says, okay, I'm not ready to get vaccinated, whatever, you need to get the testing, right? You need to be tested. And so you, as an employer, those that with 100 employees or more are going to be required to hold to this mandate. It also requires COVID-19 vaccinations for over 17 million healthcare workers at Medicare and Medicaid participating hospitals and other care settings, because they are on the front line. So they need to protect themselves, right? Because they're on the front lines with all of these people with COVID, then they're going back to their families. So it's so easy for this to continue to spread, and they want to help to bring this to an end. There's just too many people still getting sick and too many people that are dying. They're also calling for large entertainment venues to require proof of vaccination or testing for entry. So we know that the live venue space was one of the industries most impacted during this pandemic, hardest hit, and they're slowly opening back up. They are going to be requiring them to require that proof of vaccination and testing upon entry. Also requiring employers to provide paid time off to get vaccinated. And these employers must do this, right? So there's already incentives for employers to make sure that they get their workers vaccinated and that they have time off and that they are not penalized for taking that time off to get vaccinated. They're not penalized if they get sick and have to go to the doctor or hospitalized or whatever, have to stay home. There are already relief programs in place for this, but unfortunately, we already know employers don't always follow suit with what they're supposed to do, because I've heard this from employees before, that they don't feel like they can take off or they can do what they need to do because their employers are not even following the protocols that were set in place earlier. Okay, so they are holding employers accountable to keep you as a worker, as an employee, safe. Okay, so just know that. Also, further protecting those that are already vaccinated. So this is by providing easy access to booster shots. This is something that they're getting ready to roll out in different phases. And if I expand this down here, they're going to be making booster shots free and widely available across 80,000 locations. It's already very easy to get vaccinations. I know a few months back, I got vaccinated. I got 2 doses. So they want to make it free and easy for you all to get vaccinated. I already know that they even partnered with like Uber to provide transportation. So they're doing everything that they can to make sure that you can get access to get vaccinated. So they're going to be rolling out these booster shots. And as soon as I'm able to do it, I would definitely be doing that, ensuring that Americans know where to get the booster shot. Right. So they do a lot of outreach. You may have seen, like, if you're on social media, like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even YouTube, that they put out regular information so you know what to do, where you can go to get testing, to get vaccinated, whatever it is that you need to do. And they provide a toll-free number, and it's in 150 different languages. Next on this 6-point plan is keeping schools safely open. We know this has been a real point of contention. I've said that before, trying to keep children safe. More and more young people are getting sick. Okay. And so we already know vaccines are available for those 16 and up, but we still have that population of young people that is not yet been approved for them to get vaccinated. So what do you do to keep all of those kids sick? We already know when they go to school, they have the little germs already. So we need to make sure that schools, the kids, the teachers, the administrators, all of them are safe. So they are requiring staff in Head Start programs, the Department of Defense schools, the Bureau of Indian Education operated schools to be vaccinated. So if you participate in those programs, that is going to be a requirement, calling all states to adopt vaccine requirements for all school employees, providing additional funding for school districts for safe school reopenings, including backfilling salaries and other funding withheld by states for implementing COVID safety measures. So we know some state leaders have done that, have threatened the schools, said that they're going to take their funding. Well, they're putting these initiatives in place to combat that, using the Department of Education's full legal authority to protect students' access to in-person instruction, getting students and school staff tested on a regular basis, and providing every resource to the FDA to support timely review of vaccines for individuals under the age of 12. Okay. So the FDA is right now undergoing a process to evaluate vaccines for children under 12, and under the president's plan, the administration would do whatever it takes to support those efforts while continuing to respect and defer to the scientific decision-making of the agency. Okay. Next in the plan, increasing testing and masking requirements. Okay. So we already know there are already mandates within the federal government. So In addition, mobilizing industry to expand easy-to-use testing production. They will also be making at-home tests more affordable, spending free rapid at-home tests to food banks and community health centers. They will also be expanding free pharmacy testing and continuing to require masking for interstate travel, and they will be doubling fines for those that do not follow the protocols, and then continuing to require masking on all federal property. Okay. Next in the 6-point plan is protecting our economic recovery. So in this, and I stated yesterday, if you did not catch that, the video that I did yesterday, definitely check that out. But I stated that the president, the SBA, they all know, right, that small business owners are suffering. Our economy, period, is suffering because we've just struggled to get a hold of this COVID-19 pandemic that is impacting every aspect of our economy. It actually had a low jobs report. Why? Because of COVID, because of the variant, right? Because people are getting sick, because people are not comfortable. They don't feel safe still going into different establishments like they did before. It is not, back to where it was. So maybe you were at full capacity before. Maybe it's 25% of that, or maybe it's 50% of that, just depending on your establishment and where you are and how rampant the impacts are of COVID-19. So they put some additional support, expanded some support for small businesses. Now, one thing I am surprised by is the fact that they did not expand the targeted EIDL grants outside of low-income communities. So that doesn't mean they won't do it, but I'm shocked that it is not covered in this 6-point plan because the EIDL disaster loan program is, okay? So we have to continue to push for that because they acknowledge the fact that businesses need support. So this is what they're saying is the new support. There's, from what I see, is not a new program, is just expansions, improvements of some programs that are already available. So the first one is the COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, otherwise known as EIDL. This provides long-term, low-cost loans, right? I explained this. That has a 30-year maturity date, 3.75% interest for for-profit, 2.75% interest for nonprofit businesses. The improvements will allow more businesses to get greater and more flexible support from the $150 billion in loanable funds still available in the program. So the SBA will increase the maximum amount of funding that can be used to hire, retain employees, purchase inventory, equipment, and pay off higher debts, interest debts. So I talked about the expansion of what you can use your funds for. They will be expanding this program from 500,000 cap to 2 million. So this is something that we have been anticipating for a few months now and weeks, and we heard that they was going to announce this after Labor Day, and they did just that. Okay, so not only do they have it here in the White House statement, but they also have it on the SBA's website. Okay, so this increase will help businesses and SBA analysts, current COVID EIDL borrowers who qualify for the increase. Shows that more than 80% have 25 employees or less, and the SBA will ensure that no small business has to start repaying these loans until 2 years after they receive the funding. So I talked about the deferment, right? So you get the loan now, you use it because they don't want you to be burdened by having to not only get the money, but to start paying back the debt. You get 2 years before you have to start paying back this debt. So that is huge for a lot of the businesses that have applied for COVID, for the EIDL program loans, and those that they are expecting more businesses to apply for the loans and also to apply for the increase. Okay, so again, 2 years, don't have to start paying for 2 years after they receive the funding to make more payments. The SBA will make it easier for small businesses with multiple locations in hard-hit sectors like restaurants, hotels, and gyms to access these loans. We talked about that yesterday, to ensure that taxpayer dollars are used to support businesses that truly need the help. And now the SBA has implemented tightened controls and will collaborate closely with the Inspector General on this program to monitor it, because we know they had a lot of fraud. So they want to make sure they have those controls in place so that the money gets to the businesses, the real legitimate businesses who need it. And the SBA will offer a 30-day exclusive window for access, where only small business owners seeking loans of $500,000 or less will receive awards after the new improved loan product launches. Okay. In addition to that, they're also streamlining the Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness process. So we know that has been underway. There's been a big push by the SBA to get all of those that have received the PPP funds, especially those that are $150,000 or less. That's around 3.5 million borrowers, PPP borrowers. And they want to be able to wipe those loans clean so you don't have to pay them back, that they become a grant, because they don't want that to be, again, an additional burden on you. So under the new streamlined approach, the SBA sends a pre-completed application form to you, the borrower, who can review, sign, and send back to the SBA, which then works with the lenders to complete the forgiveness process. Since it's launching of their new process August 4th, this is their direct portal. More than 820,000 small businesses have applied for forgiveness, with borrowers spending an average of 6 minutes on the application, 60% of applicants completing the process on their mobile devices. So they have, I can attest to this, that the process is super simple and easy through the direct portal. I know my personal lenders, the process was super easy. 3 of my PPP loans, all 3 have been forgiven, 100% forgiven. I don't owe any money back, and I can use that to sustain and grow my business. So again, the EIDL loan program caps are expanded to $2 million. And then PPP, they've streamlined that process. We'll continue to work on that to make sure all of you all that have loans get it forgiven, and especially those is still over 50%, and mostly those with $150,000 in loans or less that have not requested forgiveness. So I reiterate and encourage you to request forgiveness of your applications. Okay, let me just make sure we're still on here. Okay, great, that you all can hear me and see me clearly. So that's important, and I'll go through that more of that once I get over to the SBA site. Now, I had done a previous video on this when the SBA actually launched. They were talking about launching their Community Navigator program. This is a pilot program. The first step to this was a few months back. I believe it was in July when they opened up applications for nonprofit organizations to partner with others to become community navigators, to supply more support to the small business community to be able to get access to more of the SBA's programs, because we know for a lot of business owners, it has been a challenge. So these navigators are going to have boots on the ground in your local area to help provide you with the support, better outreach, better technical assistance. So if you are not technically savvy, or if you don't understand the programs, you will have someone locally to be able to help walk you through that process. So we're anticipating that the announcement soon, I believe it's supposed to be this month, or by the end of this month, that they should announce those that won the grant to start launching this Community Navigator program. So those are the 3 things that is targeted to protect our economic recovery and to be able to better support the small business community. So let me know, small business owners, is there something else that you would have liked to have seen in here? I know definitely I would have liked to have seen what is proposed to actually provide some of those that were stuck in the PPP process to add additional funding to help them get access to those funds. You let me know what you would have liked to see in that. And then number 6 is improving the care for those with COVID-19. And I just stated the whole purpose of this 6-point plan is because COVID is still out of control. We don't get it under control. It's going to be terrible, right? So we have to take control of this thing and turn it around. And we have to take care of those that are sick and suffering with COVID-19. So what they're going to do is increase support for COVID burden hospitals, because there are a lot of burden hospitals. They're tired. They've been in this. We're going on 2 years at this point that these hospitals, nurses, doctors, and support teams have been on the front line. So they're going to be increasing that support, giving life-saving monoclonal antibody treatment to those who need it. And then they're going to be expanding the pool of healthcare professionals providing treatment by deploying federal monoclonal antibody strike teams. So as they begin rolling these things out, we will definitely keep you updated as they share updated information with us. So that is the 6-point plan of the Biden administration. So let me just reiterate, vaccinating the unvaccinated is 1. 2, further protecting those that are vaccinated, right? I know I'm vaccinated, but I want to be protected, and I still social distance. I still wear masks, even when people look at me funny. And believe me, I have family members that don't agree with me. They want to get close. And I celebrated my nephew's birthday, and I was contemplating, should I go, should I not go? But I really wanted to celebrate him, but I did not relax my standards, okay? And I wore a mask, and I was the only one there with a mask, and people wanted to hug me and all that. And we did the fist bump, okay? I'm more concerned about protecting the people around me and making sure I'm protected. I want to be here next year and many years to come, and I want them to be here. So for me, sacrificing that, a hug, is well worth it. Me wearing my mask and social distancing is well worth it for me. And so I think that's important. And I personally would appreciate if more people, even those that are around me, would consider those that are around you, your neighbor, your family, your friends, those that are vaccinated, and keep them safe. We just need to keep each other safe. It's just sad to hear these stories of families, people that are just dying all the time. And at this point, there's something we can do about it. Early in 2020, we couldn't do anything there was nothing we can do. The vaccines weren't even available, right? Now we have it, and because people don't get it, and they're on their deathbed saying that they wish that they had gotten it. So let's keep everybody protected. Let's save some more lives. Increasing testing and mask requirements, protecting the economic recovery. Again, expanding those programs for small business owners, and then improving the care for those with COVID-19. So before I close out, I just want to show you also the official announcement from the SBA concerning the expansion of the EIDL loan program. So I'm going to put that up. The administrator is Isabella Guzman. And I want to make sure I have the right one up here. Yeah, so this is the official announcement, their press release. And they announced this yesterday. So right after President Biden, they issued this press release here, making that official announcement. So I said some of you all may have seen in your EIDL portal that the increased limit was to 2 million. But at the time, the SBA's website was not yet updated. So while all these other people was talking about, is there, it wasn't there. So now it's officially here. The statement is here, and you may see it reflected in your portals. But again, 2 million, everybody won't qualify for this. And so it's just based on the formula that they have instituted. This does not speak to any revamping of the formula. So I will be looking for additional information on that. As of right now, the formula is the same as it was for the $500,000 cap with the 24 months of working capital. That I have not seen anything where they moved that, but they have increased it to 2 million. So those that would already qualify for over 500, now you're able to increase more than that. Okay. So I encourage you all to do that. And you can see here are some key changes as well. So I want to read this official statement really quickly. So the SBA COVID Economic Injury Disaster Loan Programs offer a lifeline to millions of small business owners who are still being impacted by the pandemic. This is what Isabella Guzman said. We've retooled this critical program, increasing the borrowing limit to 2 million, offering 24 months of deferment, and expanding the flexibility to allow borrowers to pay high interest business debt. So I talked yesterday about added uses of the funds, including debt. We have also ramped up our outreach efforts to ensure we're connecting with our smallest small businesses, as well as those from low-income communities who may be eligible for the companion COVID, EIDL, targeted advance, and supplemental advance grants totaling up to $15,000. So while they have not expanded it outside of the low-income communities, they are expanding their outreach, because I told you before, they in the infrastructure bill, they carved out or planning to take 17 billion from the targeted EIDL program. And what I said was, it's not that the small business owners aren't there, it's that there is not enough or proper outreach to get to those business owners to let them know that they can apply, and then help them to be able to do that. So I believe it will help with them implementing these changes and the Community Navigator grant to get more business owners that a piece of the pie. Because there's $27 billion remaining for targeted grants. And then she goes on to say, our mission-driven SBA team has been working around the clock to make the loan review process as user-friendly as possible to ensure every entrepreneur who needs help can get capital they need to reopen, recover, and rebuild. Okay. So we know they definitely have had issues in the past with processes, but they've been implementing new ones. So you let me know, small business owners, if you feel like their process change or improvements have made a difference in your application. I know more are getting approved, more are getting funded. I just announced one yesterday. Some business owner reached out to me and told me, thanked me for helping her with the reconsideration. She went through that, and she was able to get not only the $10,000 targeted grant, but the supplemental $5,000 grant. Now, here are the key changes that are outlined in this SBA announcement. Increasing the EIDL cap, we know, from 500,000 to 2 million, okay? And what is going to be used on. 2, implementation of the deferment period. So the SBA will ensure small business owners will not have to begin repaying for until 2 years, okay? So we knew it was between 12 months and 24 months before. 3rd, they established a 30-day exclusivity window. So this is to ensure that the Main Street businesses have additional time to access these funds, and the SBA will implement the 30-day exclusivity window of approving and dispersing those loans for 500,000 or less. Approval and disbursement of those loans of over 500,000 will begin after the 30-day period. Okay, so those of you that are entitled to the increase, there's exclusivity period, 500,000 or less, to get those done and out the door. We know business owners are still waiting for that. And then over that, after the 30-day period. Next, the expansion of eligible use of funds. I talked about this yesterday. They expanded what you can use the funds on. Debt is included in that. Prepaid commercial debt, except for federal debt, is in there. And in federal debt can be included as well. So if you have some other federal debt, another federal or SB, including an SBA loan, because they have other loan programs, you can use this fund to pay off that debt, okay? Because they recognize that businesses, in order to survive, have had to take on more debt. So this is your way to be able to help streamline that process for yourselves. And again, to achieve your business goals. And then simplification of affiliation requirements. these are really for those larger businesses that have multiple affiliations. They clarify the affiliation requirements, made it more simple in comparison or in alignment with the restaurant revitalization grant. And this is to ease the EIDL application process for small business. And they have established a more simplified process model for that. Okay. So they have also provided additional information that you can find on sba.gov, including where to apply for the EIDL program. If you have not applied already and you need an EIDL loan, you still have time to apply for the EIDL loan and the grant until December 31st of 2021. So we're already like almost mid-September at this point. So please do not wait. Okay, do not wait. It's either the funding runs out or the time runs out. But you want to beat whatever that clock is, get ahead of that clock, get your applications in. Go, if you are denied, submit an appeal, go through the reconsideration process for the loan, go through the reevaluation process for the grant. But there's still money, there's still relief to be had out there for small business owners. So I would definitely want you all to be able to get that. And I'm hopeful that the SBA and the White House will continue to provide additional support to businesses who need it as well. So while these programs are great, there's just more assistance is needed, and I think we need more grant money. Money that you don't have to pay back, period. And I know many people have asked before, will they ever make the EIDL loan program forgivable? I don't know, but what I said is since the beginning or early on, many advocacy groups and business owners have been calling for them to forgive it. Who knows? It may be down the road that they say, okay, after further evaluation, we're just going to forgive or create a process like PPP to forgive those loans, but they haven't. But they've made a step to help by giving you 22 years where you don't have to pay back a dime on that loan, but interest does accrue. So do know that interest is still accruing. So, whatever you can pay on it, pay it. And when you're using the funds, you only need to take what you need. So, and then you can go back and get the rest. So evaluate that, go through that process, talk to your accountant, your finance, your CFO, whoever you need to talk to, and make a plan for your money. Because you need to have a goal, you need to have a plan to multiply that money, right? Get a return on that money. So then it's easy to pay back, right? So I encourage you all to do that. As always, if you need a referral, feel free to reach out to us at hello@SheBossTalk, and we'll be happy to assist. Now, I'm just going to go through here really quickly just to see if there's any questions. I see you all out there. Happy Friday to you all. I hope you all are getting your money out there. I hope this has been beneficial to you. Again, do share this out with other business owners because we know that there's still millions that don't know that these programs exist, or they are having challenges and they don't know where to get help. There is help available to help you be able to get access to these programs that are available. Okay. So somebody is asking me, so I say this all the time, we have EIDL videos, but for the EIDL program, you must, in order to be eligible, and you could go on the website, sba.gov/EIDL, okay? But in order to qualify for COVID relief funds, the disaster funds, you need to have been in business January 31st of 2020 or prior to qualify. So if you just started your business this year, this is not for you. This is not a new business loan program. SBA has other loan programs for that. If you're a new business or there's some other reason you want to have access to capital, which businesses do, you need to have 500 employees or less. So when you go to the website, it will tell you clearly what the eligibility requirements are. We have a video that takes you step by step through the loan application. We also have a video that takes you step by step to what you need to do to, once you're invited to apply for the targeted grant. We have step by step on how to do that as well. We have videos on how to go through reconsideration, and we have videos on how to go through reevaluation appeals as well. Now, as a reminder for the grant, apply for the loan first, get invited to the grant by email from the SBA. Then you apply for the grant. You would apply for both at the same time. They changed that process several months back. In order to qualify for the targeted grant, a maximum of 10,000. So if you applied in 2020, you're getting the balance of whatever you got in 2020. Okay, up to a max of 10,000. You need to have 300 employees or less. You need to be in a low income community, your business location. So brick and mortar, or if you have a home-based business, it's your home-based business. And then you need to be able to demonstrate a 30% decrease in gross receipts, the business receipts, business sales, business revenue in a quarter, and compare that same quarter to 2019, it must show a 30%. So if it only shows 10%, you would not qualify. Okay, so I hope that is clear. The map that you use to determine if you're in low income is also on the SBA's website. You put in your address and you hover over, you put it in, click enter, hover over it, and it will say, yes, you're in a low income community, or no, you are not. Okay, that's how you will know. And then to get the supplemental grant of $5,000, you still need to be in a low income. You need to have a higher or more severe loss of 50% or greater. And then you need to have 10 employees or less. And when I say employees, I mean W-2, not 1099 workers. Okay. So, but 10 employees or less. That means if you don't have any employees, you are the employee. So you always put one. If they ask you on the loan how many employees you have and you don't have any employees, W-2, you put one. If they ask you on the grant application how many employees you have and you don't have any W-2 employees, you put one. You do not put zero. Okay? So again, it's 300 or less, or 10 or less for the supplemental of 5,000. There's only 1 million businesses that can get this supplemental grant because that's what's been allocated, 5 billion. But there's still plenty of money left for the supplemental. And I went through that yesterday in my video and previous videos. There's a ton of money still left for you to be able to get it. Okay. No, you cannot reapply again. If you've gotten the money, congratulations. If you got it, because if you could, I would have told you and I would have applied already and gotten it. I would love to get another $15,000, but there's too many businesses that have not gotten it already that need to get it. So no, you cannot reapply again for the same business. However, if you have more than one qualifying business, then you can apply for the program for each business you have that is eligible, that is legitimate. They must be separate, right? Separate EIN numbers, separate business entities. It can't be you're a 1099 worker and you just happen to work for 10 contracts for companies. That is not the same. That's one business. But if you have three separate businesses, you can apply for the loan and the grant for each of those businesses, similar to PPP. That's how I was able to get 3 PPPs. And that's what people ask me, how did you get to 3 PPPs? They have first draws, they have second draws. And then you could do it for each eligible business. There's many of us that have multiple businesses. If you have multiple businesses, let me know in the comments. Let me know what those businesses are. But again, and many people did not know this. They just thought that you could just apply once and that was it. No, you can apply for each eligible business. And so if you qualify for that, I would encourage you to do that. Okay. If you applied once and it's just you haven't heard back or whatever, you need to call. Do not submit a new application. They will tell you that. That is not going to help expedite the process. It's going to cause more delays. Some of you are still in that situation. I had another lady yesterday that just got that resolved because that's a duplicate application. You need to call them, work all of that out. What they will do is withdraw every other duplicate application and leave your one initial application for you to work with. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck because it looks like, fraud, or it's the same business and it's just messing it up, okay, for you. I'm trying to help you get unstuck And we have an unstuck video. We have top denial videos that really help you move through the process. Yeah, I know. We all would love another 15,000. Hey, Tina, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We know it's a waiting game. People ask me all the time, how long does it take to get from this stage to this stage to this stage to this stage? There is no answer. It could be a few days. It could be a few weeks. It could be a few months. What I do know is for the grant, it's supposed to be 21 days from the time you submit your application to them giving you a determination of approved or denied. Okay. And so we know many people have been waiting longer than that, but that is the only date. So asking me, okay, I got approved. How long is it going to take to fund? All I know for all my processes, it was quick. But I know for a lot of others, it was not. It's just been months and months and months and months of waiting. That's why I say the earlier you get your stuff in, the better. Don't wait, because we just don't know how long it's going to take. But now that the SBA is improving their processes, I know the increases have improved exponentially. Now we need to make sure that those that are in the grant process are moving along, because some of you all have been stuck for months. But I've already said what to do. You need to get on your phone with your district SBA office, and you need to get your congressmen and women involved. That's how you escalate it. I mean, you can do more than just talk to the first level rep. Then you need to escalate it above that and above that and above that. Don't just wait, right? Because some of you are doing that. You have not called or anything. You're just like, oh, I haven't heard anything. Or you may not be checking your emails and they sent you something, information, and it's in your spam folder. So I say the other day that I was waiting on approval. I had seen a status, an email come through, and I had looked in my portal, my application portal for PPP. And I'm like, I see a status, but I clicked on it. I didn't see any update. But I was super busy, so I just let it go. But I called the other day just to double check, because I'm like, okay, it's been a minute. What's going on? So she looked at my file, I gave her my application number. She was like, it's been 100% forgiven. She was like, it may be your pop-up blocker. And it was. Okay, so once I fixed the pop-up blocker, I was able to click the status, and it popped up and said the SBA and my bank had forgiven my loan completely. And I was super excited. I was screaming on the phone and everything. That's exciting. Anytime they tell me I have free money, I don't have to pay something back, I'm excited about it. Okay. And I was because I was like, usually it goes pretty quickly, and it did. They had really done this, completed the process almost a month ago, and I just didn't know it, but I was busy. Okay. So it's done. It's 100% forgiven, all three. So I encourage you all to take action on your own behalf and do that. It could be something simple like that you just didn't call, and it's something that you missed. It's not always the SBA. It's something you missed, and you're thinking you're right, and you're not. There's some error, something you did. And that happens a lot too. You may have checked that you're not a U.S. citizen, or that you paid child support, and now they're asking you for U.S. citizen verification, child support verification, because you made an error in either checking or not checking a box on your application. It's not always the SBA. So double and triple check the information that you're giving to the SBA, and just be persistent through the process, because you need to practice patience, because it's going to be a wait. So hopefully they will start expediting it now that these processes are improved. So I hope that has been helpful for you. Again, we're going into the weekend, so I hope you all are ready. I hope you're achieving your goals, taking action on behalf of yourselves. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. As always, continue to be the boss with amplified impact, and continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.